What is going on, my babes? This week we are in Chicago. We're here for the holidays, for Rosh Hashanah, and making time for family is important. So here I am, visiting my mom in my mom's house in Chicago, making time for family because it's important. Now, today, family is important, but training is importanter. So this morning, we went training. We stopped by Rockwell Barbell because that's where our friends train. And we had a strenuous upper body training. So today, I'm gonna take you through what we did in the gym, every single exercise, every single rep, every single step, every single breath that we took through that training session, my babies.
Every single step. Took a lot of steps.
Many steps, my babies. I've recently gone into the Fitbit trend. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but if you don't, you gotta get a Fitbit because you gotta be in with the trends, gotta keep up with the new trends that start coming up. And well, this consists of tracking every step of the way that you take during the day. And if you don't get 10,000 steps a day, you're a loser. It's as simple as that, my babies.
We have a leaderboard now running with all of our friends. So we compete who can get the most steps per week. Steph's been falling a little short, but I always seem to be a few hundred steps ahead. Why do you think that is?
It's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think people just...
I have worse ADD, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. You just walk way more throughout the day than me. But he also does it on purpose. Like sometimes I don't know where he is and he's outside.
That's true.
Taking loops around the house. Or over the block. Anyway, back to the topic. Today's video, I'm going to take you through my training and just talk about where I am in terms of my training, when my next competition is, and a little bit of what I'm doing inside the gym these days. Anyway, this was my second bench or upper body session of the week. And you interrupted me. Yeah, started with a warm-up. We started with a warm-up. Then we moved on to bench. I chose to do the bench press as my first exercise because it's the most important one for me for this session in terms of just development of skill and development of strength. So I started warming. I usually do one plate for my first warm-up for several reps, even more reps than likely that I'm gonna do for my top set. So I think I started with 5 reps in the bench press. Moved this time around. I took very small jumps just so that I could accumulate a little bit more volume. And I added first a 10-pound plate, then another 10-pound plate, and then I think I jumped to a 25 plus chains, which ended up being way heavier than I anticipated. I think at the top was close to 235 because you said those chains were about 50 pounds.
And change.
Yeah, so at the top 235, which is a pretty challenging weight for me, I ended up getting 3 reps with that amount of weight. And then I dumped some of the weight and I just went for an AMRAP, several AMRAPs. I think I did 2 or 3 AMRAPs with a plate and chains, which in hindsight, I think I could have added a little bit more weight, but for that session or for that portion of the workout, I wanted to focus on just keeping constant tension and just moving the weight as fast as possible. So similar to a dynamic effort bench press, where you're just focusing on speed and consistency in every repetition. Hayden did the same thing.
Yeah, I did a 3x5. Went up to semi-challenging weight and bench, and then dropped down and did some chain work after too.
Yeah. Following the bench press, we did incline dumbbell press. Usually I don't do these very heavy. I don't even know why. I think it's just, for me, it's really hard to, 1, take off the dumbbells off the rack, and 2, safely do them. So if I don't have a spotter, I usually don't feel very safe doing them. But in this case, I had Hayden, so I was able to. I started my first warm up with, I think, 40 pounds or 50 pounds, and then 60 or then 65. I think was my top weight. Was it 65?
60.
Yeah.
65.
Yeah, 65 was my top weight for 8 reps. Following the incline bench press, we tried the tsunami lat pull down.
Which kind of actually just turned out to be the exact same as a regular lat pull down.
Yeah, I don't even know. It just sounded interesting. I saw it on the wall, and I was very tempted to try it because it said level 1 tsunami lat pull down bar, which looked interesting. I've never seen that type of bar before. And I think at light weights, you can feel it oscillating a little bit more. But then as the weight gets heavier, then it just becomes kind of like a bent bar.
Yeah, just as soon as you pull on it, it bends to a point and
where
then
it can't
stays
bend
there,
anymore.
and
Yeah,
then it's just kind of like a regular lat pull down.
Exactly. And another downfall is that you can only tolerate 100 pounds.
Right. Yeah. So I had to do a lot of reps.
Yeah, and it heavily limits the amount of weight that you can. So then after that we did, I think it was 9 or 10 pounds what that med ball weighed, and we did seated ballistic med ball tosses.
Incline.
Yeah, incline
or seated.
Yeah, ballistic med ball tosses for maximum reps. And whatever you do, if you want to try this exercise, don't use a sandbag ball, because the sand moves all around the ball and then it makes it really hard, and it's going to make you toss it into your partner's area where you don't want it to go. So we did, I think it was 3 sets of max effort, so max reps in that movement, literally until your arms can't even be up anymore. I love that exercise because for me, for some reason, it's hard for me to feel a good contraction in my chest and on my arms when I'm doing bench press. So this exercise really kind of, I don't know why exactly, but it really makes me feel like I'm using especially my upper chest and my shoulders and my arms.
Yeah. And was that the last thing? It felt like we did a lot.
Yeah, because every time, after every single exercise, we would take a lap.
Oh, true.
To improve our step count.
That's true. I got 4,000 steps over that workout.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
What did we finish with?
We did tricep extension.
Yeah, tricep extension.
With the cable machine with the ropes.
Yeah, I actually did drop set tricep extensions. So I would start at a weight on the plates, and then I would decrease doing the same amount of weight until I couldn't go anymore. So for me, I think I did 50, 40, 30, 20, and 10. Some single arm tricep extensions, which really doesn't matter. If you want to do single arm, double arm, they both can be efficient as long as you're doing them with correct technique and just alternating between high intensity, low reps, and vice versa.
I was being ultimately efficient because I didn't want to have to keep changing the pin, so I just left your weight.
What did we do after?
When they ate burgers.
Yeah, I think that was the end of the workout, right? We didn't do anything. I did back extensions too. Yeah. So nothing related to, it's not an upper body movement, but reverse hypers make my back feel really good, and that's something that I've been struggling with lately. And so I just want to, every day, my goal is to do something to make my back feel better, prevent my back from stiffening up and from hurting, essentially.
Don't you got like a top secret project?
Yeah, there is a top secret. But if I told you about it, it wouldn't be top secret anymore. I'm writing a book.
That was easy.
Yeah, so in a couple of months, we'll be releasing a book called Back Under the Bar, which contains all of my secrets on low back rehabilitation from a perspective of a physical therapist combined with my athletic experience and my experience being a strength and conditioning coach. So it's gonna be good, it's gonna be thick, and it's gonna be extremely valuable, I think, for both the lifting community and the non-lifting community as well. So I'm excited about that project. Make sure to stay tuned and don't miss out when we're selling the books, because we're printing a limited amount of copies. Anyway, so that was the end of the workout at Rockwell Barbell. After that, we just want to have burgers. Yeah, no.
They were possibly the best burgers in the world.
What was the place again?
Au Cheval.
Au Cheval.
So if you're in Chicago and if you're craving burgers, 10 out of 10 recommendation. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time.